Okay, taking care of some bands that are going to be in the...
Good to be on Reggae Bloodlines again. Today we have a special guest from England, one of the lead guitar player, one of the lead singers of Steel Pulse, David Hinds. Also, David's one of the main songwriters in the group. How you doing, David?
It was great, you know.
Right. So, this is David's first trip to the U.S. and first trip to Boston. They just pulled into town. They've done a few shows in New York at the Mud Club and where else?
Irving Plaza.
How did those go?
Went down a storm, you know.
Yeah, well received there. Huh?
Yeah.
Where else are you going to be going on this tour here?
Well, we'll be going on to Toronto in Canada, and then I think we'll be playing in Michigan as well, and Chicago. You know.
Do you know where you're playing in Chicago yet?
No.
You haven't checked out the itinerary?
I haven't checked that yet.
Or else you were just in Philadelphia last night. Where was it?
Well, it wasn't exactly in Philadelphia. It was in New Jersey.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
what was the name of the place there?
Emerald.
Oh, Emerald City.
Probably it was, you know. I'm not too sure.
Did you open up for another group?
Yeah, we opened up for Psychedelic Furs.
Right. So you got to be exposed to the punk crowd a little bit.
Well, a various amount, because there's a lot of dreads there, you know.
How about in England? Is your association with the music scene over there? Is a lot of your audience the punk or the new wave type people? Or?
Well, a few years before, like a couple of years back when we started out, there was a lot of punks on the scene. But now it's sort of a crossover now, you know. You find the actual office working people coming, different, you know, variety of people, you know.
Right.
But it's still mostly white audiences at our concerts, you know.
Right. Well, maybe you should tell people what part of England Steel Pulse is from.
Birmingham, Handsworth, you know.
Birmingham, right. So that's where you play most of your shows. You play in London much?
Well, we play in London probably 3 times a year or so. We don't want to get overexposed, you know.
Right.
London's only about, 110 miles from where I live anyway.
Yeah, have you toured around Europe?
Yeah, we did a tour in May in Germany and France, you know. And we kept going to Holland weekends. That was in about July. We're supposed to be doing a Scandinavian tour soon as well.
Right. So how long has Steel Pulse been? How long have they been together as a group?
Well, originally, we started our first concert in 1975, you know.
Right.
In a small pub.
So you've been around 5 years or so?
Yeah, I'd say 5 years.
How many albums? Why don't you tell people the names of the albums that you have out?
Well, first album, Hands of Revolution. I've done 3 albums. Second one is Tribute to the Martyrs. And the last one is called Reggae Fever, but it's also known as Caught You in England.
Caught You?
Caught You.
Caught You?
Yeah, as in
right.
catch.
Also, we have some tunes from the new Steel Pulse album out, which will also be probably the first time it's played in Boston. The record just made its way into my hands last night, and I'm pretty sure nobody has played it in Boston yet, so we'll give the people a little taste of that in WCAS today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to a song called Ku Klux Klan, which was probably your first.
Yeah, that was on the first album, yeah.
That was on your first album. That was like your major hit as far as like what people know you by over here anyway. I don't know about in England, but over here that song really went over pretty big. So why don't we check that out and we'll come back and talk some more with David Hinds of Steel Pulse. Hi, that was Steel Pulse, and we're sitting right here with David Hinds, the lead singer of Steel Pulse, who has a show at the Bradford Hotel tonight with Lenky and the Ethiopian Roots. And we're going to give away a few tickets and talk some more with David Hinds. But right now, we have a commercial message. Discover, say, your first time to the United States, and before you kind of expressed what you felt about being in New York City as like someone, you know, from England, but hearing a lot about the United States, but never really, knew until you saw it. Maybe you want to tell some of the people your feelings about being in New York City the past few days.
Well, compared with England and say even London, which is probably one of the fast towns in England. I mean, New York is very fast living, you know. And straight to say there's a lot of unemotional people walking around there. You know what I mean? It's as if nobody waits for anybody down there.
Right. Well, another question that I always like to ask a lot of reggae artists or, you know, different musicians is, besides like, you know, reggae artists who have influenced you, what American artists or even English or just like say...
Influenced me?
Yeah, what kind of musicians influence you besides reggae musicians?
One of my strongest influences as a musician and as a man himself as well is Scott Heron.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
You know?
He's great.
I like Richie Havens also, you know, because I saw him live in Switzerland, you know. But Scott Heron and Brian Jackson is my man.
Great, great. What about, some people have somewhat, not really compared, but, you know, put your music in a class with Third World where it's like a real advanced type of reggae.
Well,
as far as it being different from like a roots type of simpler reggae, it's like more of a complex thing than you find in Jamaica.
Steel Pulse is dealing with roots, but it's roots taken to another level.
Right.
Which in many ways beyond certain people who are so used to one kind of roots. You know, you know, people will not. There's many people who will not see it as roots because they're so used to one kind of vibe, one vibe in one direction. You know.
Right. Right.
And like, if we and Third World have any similarities, it's just the fact that we intend to do something else with the music. You know what I mean?
Right.
But still, Steel Pulse and Third World is no comparison.
Right.
But only
I don't feel that personally, but I've heard that from other people.
Well, as far as trying to put some life into the music and trying to churn out ideas.
Right.
That's where I could say, well, the similarities.
Right. You're both pretty, you know, experimental outside of like the normal reggae pattern. What about some of the reggae groups that you like? I know you've never been to Jamaica, which was pretty surprising to me because your music sure has the feel, you know. And what kind of reggae music out of the island do you listen to?
So I listen to a lot of Burning Spear music and Black Uhuru, and Freddie McGregor is my man.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
he's great. Great. So, anything else you'd like to tell the people out in Boston? You kind of have your own say right now. Is there anything you'd like to tell the people or express any kind of feelings for people before we...
I can say really just set up yourself, youth man. You know, do something before that.
So it comes to a close once again. Reggae Bloodlines. Mike Cacia sitting in for Peter Simon. And also wanting to thank David Hinds from the Steel Pulse group, who's been nice enough to come over here and talk with us for a while. And also we do have our winners who... Reggae Bloodlines.